You know what really grinds my gears? Public restrooms. They're the worst examples of human stupidity, riddled with the dumbest contraptions, most unsanitary maintenance, and examples of people who shouldn't be allowed in them in the first place, with quarantine being the only thing keeping me away from these room-sized outhouses. First off, why do they call it a restroom? Nobody goes into a public restroom to bathe or take a break. If anything, you're trying to get out of there as fast as possible while you're in there. You're not resting, you're wishing you weren't crapping or pissing at that moment. Secondly, the layout of these places. If you're gonna run a public bathroom, please, have the walls in between the urinals long enough to where we have privacy. In my underfunded public school, the dividers are so short to where I have to end up bleaching my eyes out as a result of what I've seen. When I usually go into public restrooms, the first thing I notice is this god-awful smell that could suffocate people faster than tear gas could, that seems to be coming at me from every which angle in the restroom, and immediately I'm regretting the decision to go in there as I force myself to inch towards one of the stalls. Usually I end up coughing to get the awful scents out of my lungs before I pass out on the fecal-ridden floor. But in the rare case that I don't somehow manage to be so disgusted and not go through with it, I lurk my way to the stall, get in, and almost go blind once I see just how horrid the inside of the stall and toilet bowl are. There's piss and crap all over the stall door and the walls, with most of it not even being in the toilet. I can hear my shoes making this almost splashing noise as I inch towards it and I stumble upon my first problem. Most of the time I can't see to the bottom of the toilet bowl because the whole roll of toilet paper just happens to be crammed into the toilet all at once, which is especially intriguing because there's usually piss and crap on top of it, even though the toilet paper is supposed to be used after you do that. To whoever does that, thanks for not letting us wipe ourselves after you just decided to be a terrible person and intentionally use the toilet paper to clog the toilet. Once I actually get to doing my business, I start to notice these inscribings, these etchings on the walls, next to me ranging all the way from prejudiced remarks to phone numbers offering a good time, making me just contemplate what life decisions led me up to that point. Of course, not everything even gets to the bottom of the toilet because all the toilet paper has been crammed into it, ending up in me only adding to the mess. I usually can't flush the toilets because of this, but if I ever do, the flush is so strong it ends up shooting a stream of water at me and sprays my ass with water as if it were some sort of industrial strength toilet. Why is there a need for this? Did some idiots have too much to eat so they ended up clogging the toilet, leading to toilets with stronger flushes? Once I get done contemplating beating myself into a coma, I exit the stall and proceed to the sinks to rinse myself of the filth. Here's the sharing of water at its finest. There's no way you can get a generous stream of water, because it either takes millennia for the sensors to actually give you water, gives you drops at a time, or makes you hold down the button with one hand to wash the other. If I somehow manage to wash my hands, I try to dry them. If it's a paper dryer, it gives me such a small amount that it becomes a sopping wet ball of disappointment before everything's dry. If it's an air dryer, it's either so slow I'll start collecting Social Security once I'm done, or so brutal it makes ripples in your flesh. The only dryers I can maybe get behind are those Dyson air dryers, and even then it took me years to learn how those things worked. The only moment I enjoy out of the experience is it ending, because nothing in the restrooms makes anyone's life more convenient. I get a sense of catharsis opening the restroom's door and seeing what's outside of it, because public restrooms are an obstacle course of literal shit and an onslaught of human stupidity and laziness, going to show just how much people care about sanitation. They're riddled with some of the cheapest and or most stupid machinery that kill my hope for a better future. Glad I got that off my chest. I've been needing to make a few smaller videos to hold you guys over till the next big projects, and since I've upped the editing game a little bit, it does take a slight bit more time, but until then, I hope you enjoy these kinds of videos, as they're mostly for fun on the side. Well folks, thanks for listening to my rant on the most trivial thing in my daily life. I hope some of you can relate to my struggles, as I think we need something to laugh at collectively during tough times like these. So, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video, and have a great life.